Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with thousands of True School Sports subscribers. What's going on, guys? Now, Terence Crawford, he has a fight coming up with Victor Postal coming up next month on July 23rd. I'm very excited about it. I think Terence Crawford has all the tools to one day become the best fighter, pound for pound king in all boxing. He's definitely, to me, in the opinion of many other people, the best pro-American boxer today. And a sensational win against Victor Postal is going to ascend him into superstardom, in my personal opinion. So with that being said, Crawford Postal is going to be a great fight. But there's a lot of reasons to like Terence Crawford. I interviewed him in February. I covered the Hank Lundy Crawford fight. You know, I haven't covered a lot of fights. Only covered like 4 fights. But Terence Crawford is hands down the best boxer I've ever watched in person. Of the small sample size. With that being said, he's taking a different approach. A lot of these guys, they do want big fights, and they've gone to the route of chasing Floyd Mayweather, chasing Manny Pacquiao, chasing the bigger names, Canelo Alvarez, guys like that. And Crawford's saying, look, I don't need to chase those guys. I can just win, keep being sensational, and I'll build my legacy that way. So here's what he said. He said, I quote, "Of course, guys are still hoping for Mayweather or Pacquiao makes it hard to get top names. You have some guys that just don't want to fight you, and that makes it hard to get where you want to go. Because you need a name, you need a big name, you need a name that's going to drive you to the next level as a superstar. So if you don't get the likes of a Pacquiao or a Mayweather, then you need to take the next step below them to take you to the next level. Me personally, I'm young. I don't feel like I need Pacquiao or Mayweather. I still have a lot of boxing left in front of me, and I feel like that I can make my own legacy and my own path without those guys if I never fought them. So a guy in my area right now, where I'm standing, is in a great position." Now, in basketball, I'm gonna use this analogy and compare it to basketball. I get pissed sometimes when certain players want to go play for a bigger market team, a team that already has so many championships, rather than blazing their own trail and being the first truly great player on a franchise that hasn't experienced championship glory. Which is why I like a guy like Andrew Wiggins in basketball, because the Cavs didn't want him, and he embraced playing for the T-Wolves and building something special there. And they're going, they're on the right path towards that. Terence Crawford, in many ways, is kind of the same way. Great fighter, skilled fighter. Probably one of the best talents we've seen in a long time from an American fighter. And with that being said, Terence Crawford is a guy that has definitely won me over even more as a boxing fan with his quotes right here, because boxing, the harsh reality is boxing, before it's a sport, it is a business first. And to make a quote like that, to say something like that, obviously we know he wanted the Pacquiao fight. That didn't happen. Pacquiao wound up choosing Timothy Bradley, which I'm still pissed about. I wanted to see Pacquiao Crawford. Crawford saying that he doesn't want the bigger names and he wants to blaze his own trail is very commendable, because it's fully expected that his fight with Victor Postal isn't going to draw a whole lot of pay-per-view buys, which is fine, but he is giving you what a lot of new fans out there complain about. You say you want the best fighting the best. You say you want, undefeated champions in their prime having huge unification fights. Well, here you have one on pay-per-view, a cheap pay-per-view with some good fights on the undercard. If you're a boxing fan, support Terence Crawford Postal. This should be a fight that you should be buying. It's cheap in comparison to most pay-per-views, and it's a big main event fight that will affect the landscape of 140 and, for that matter, 147 moving forward. So you should buy that fight for that reason alone. I think Terence has a chance to go down, when it's all said and done, from this era as one of the top 3 to 5 greatest fighters of this era. And on top of that, he's got a chance to go down as the best American fighter of this era, because really, when we look at the landscape of American fighters right now, you only have you have Andre Ward, you have Mayweather got the picture, you have Andre Ward. If you want to count that as Crawford's era, you have Danny Garcia, you have, I guess, Thurman, Porter, I'm running out of names right now, Deontay Wilder, The cream of the crop for American fighters isn't that deep. And when you talk about when you really just assess the skills of each American champion right now, you will see that Crawford is easily the most skilled guy out of all of them. It's just a matter of him getting the right fights, and I think the Postal fight is a good step in that direction for him. And I like the position he's taking on this, because we saw a guy like Amir Khan, who, you know, I'm a fan of Amir Khan, but he was a guy that went and chased the Mayweather fights, chased the Pacquiao fights, and what he did was effectively waste his prime. He lost his prime years chasing those fights, and we were relegated to watching Khan fight Dylan Alexander, Chris Algieri, guys of that nature. And eventually he had to settle and take a big fight at a big risk against Canelo Alvarez, which I do applaud him for. But that risk didn't have to be taken if he just would have stayed active and continued to build himself up. So I applaud Crawford for this. I think, should he do what I think he's going to do and beat Postal, then, you know, you're looking at, you know, other fights. You know, I really think the Amir Imam fight is a fight they should look into. Amir Imam is probably stylistically one of the hardest fights for him. Granados is another good fighter. Provodnikov is a fight that makes business sense, even though he just lost. Molina will be in the mix now because he's got a big win over Provodnikov. Then, or he can move to 147 and challenge guys up there. Crawford he's not wrong when he says he's in a great position, because he had the whole talent point 140 and 147 should he decide to move up, waiting for him. And maybe, who knows, maybe we've seen crazy things happen in boxing. Maybe we see Canelo Alvarez give Crawford a call. I highly doubt it, because at 154, I mean, you just don't know. Crawford might mess around and spank and destroy Canelo, because he's just that good. But I think he's in a great position and definitely has a chance to carve out a really great legacy in the sport. So let me know what you guys think. Terence Crawford saying that he doesn't need the Mayweather fights, the Pacquiao fights to become this big star, that he believes he can carve out his own path and his own legacy. Let me know what you guys. Let me know your guys' opinion on this. Leave your comments down below, and take the time to subscribe. And you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Dania. So until next time, take care, guys.